All right, let's bring in Canny Maphanga now, who joins us now live from Pretoria, where Shadrack Sibiya has just concluded his testimony for today after raising concerns about how mentally exhausted he is. Canny, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a long day for you and the other journalists there, probably the longest testimony since this commission started. Let's start with what's been decided a couple of minutes ago after Shadrack Sibiya raised concerns about being mentally exhausted.
Indeed, evening to you, Clement, and to the viewers at home. Essentially, he's been on the stand for a number of days. Today was the fifth day where he was going through that exercise of cross-examination, if we can put it that way, where the evidence leaders were going in quite great forensic detail to try and get to the bottom of the exchanges and what they could possibly mean in all probabilities. This is in light of the allegations that he allegedly had a close relationship with Vusimuzi Madlanga, as well as other alleged shadowy figures, and the key person to maintain and sustain those alleged relationships is allegedly that middleman who is witness F, but now we know as Sergeant Nkosi. But of course, on the fifth day, and after hours and hours of testimony, starting at 9:30 a.m. this morning, and still going through those WhatsApp exchanges as the evidence leaders try to get to the bottom of what these different messages mean, he did explain that he was quite exhausted, but of course there's also that concern that he's put before the commission that following the July media briefing, he was the subject of a raid. He's lost his devices due to that raid, and they haven't been able to obtain them back yet as their investigations are still ongoing. And he says that this is key to defending himself and understanding as to what those WhatsApp messages meant and what exactly he was trying to communicate. So that's also part of ensuring that he's not prejudiced in any way. And of course, he's expected to come at a date yet to be announced, and it's not clear yet whether or not his phones will be returned or his devices will be returned at that stage. But it is clear that if that does take place, Clement, he'll be given an opportunity to give his version with what he believes will support it in those particular devices.
Yeah, so how much of the issue of devices actually complicates things in as far as his testimony is concerned? As you say, we don't know if by the time he returns that he's going to have those devices back. But one of the things is consistently kept on mentioning, as you say, is that, well, you're asking me questions based on information you got from my phones. I don't have my phones to even verify or go back to some of the messages that I had received. And it seemed like the commissioners understood where he was coming from there.
Well, that's an important hurdle that you're raising, Clement. Essentially, the WhatsApp exchanges that they have with respect to him come from the phone of witness F, that is Sergeant Nkosi. So it was extracted from his phone, rather. And the patterns that were emerging, if we could put it that way, were taken from the context of witness F's phone. So it's often seen in the testimony where he has to answer to WhatsApp exchanges where Sergeant Nkosi is the person doing the exchanging with the other alleged shadowy figures, allegedly on his behalf, and it limits the evidence because there are multiple reasons as to why this approach could have been taken, at least on Sibiya's part. It may be one, that he allegedly understands the implication of the WhatsApp exchanges, because essentially what those WhatsApp exchanges show is that this particular character, that is witness F, Sergeant Nkosi, he is always the common denominator in various different meetings, events, or alleged transactions between Sibiya and, of course, those alleged shadowy figures, which include alleged cartel member Vusimuzi Madlanga. But the context is only there from Sergeant Nkosi's phone. So when he's questioned, it's from the context of what Sergeant Nkosi is saying. So, of course, in that particular context, he's not going to give the full candid answer because he wants to know what is in his phone before he answers to those very serious questions that have quite serious implications for him, because it seeks to test the extent to which those alleged criminal networks had access to high-ranking SABC officials, including Sibiya, and what that alleged benefit was about, not only from the alleged cartel members and what Sibiya may have allegedly offered in return. So that test still needs to continue, because in some areas you saw that there were several concessions that were made, but you could see Sibiya refuses to shoulder the blame for the events following the PKTT disbandment directive. But of course, course, there are questions in Witness F, rather, the WhatsApp exchanges, that demand more answers from Sibiya, but it becomes difficult because he doesn't actually have his devices, and he can use the defense that he can't answer to something that he doesn't know. Sergeant Nkosi must be the one who answers to the WhatsApp exchanges because he knew what he was sending at the time. So that is a difficult hurdle that they'll have to overcome in this particular testimony, but we'll see if he does return and whether he does so with those devices or not.
Yeah, and so what happens then tomorrow? Proceedings have been adjourned. We're back tomorrow. Do we know who's on the witness stand?
No, Clement, not at this stage. However, we do know that on Thursday, that was the postponement date that was scheduled for the suspended HR head, that is Linda Gashega. She is expected to return on Thursday and Friday, which leaves us with one day tomorrow. And as we've seen phase 2, it's not usually the norm where you have a witness sit only for one day. So we'll find out tomorrow whether they actually will sit or whether or not the hearings will be cut short due to this latest development. But of course, on Thursday, due to that postponement that happened last week, you can expect that the suspended City of Ekurhuleni HR head Linda Gashega will be the next person on the stand, and of course she has to explain the alleged role she may have played in shielding Julius Mkhwanazi, that is Commissioner Julius Mkhwanazi, who is also suspended from accountability during that alleged reign of terror in the City of Ekurhuleni. The Commission will return tomorrow at 10 a.m. We will get a better idea as to what will happen with tomorrow as it's lost, as Sibiya has said that he's exhausted and the Commissioner agrees. And then of course Thursday back to regular programming with Linda Gashega expected on the stand from 9:30 a.m.
All right, Canny Maphanga, thank you so much for that insightful summary of what transpired today at the Madlanga Commission. She's a SABC senior reporter.